My little photographer. After all this time, I finally get to speak with you, face to face. What do you think, dear? You're finally seeing me with no mask. Was it worth the build-up? Yes, business first. Let us satisfy your quest first, so you can relax. Go on, get your little camera. Do be sure to capture my good side, won't you? There you are. A face to put over the atrocity. A face you've been chasing for years. Is it everything you expected, my little photographer? Your reporter friend? Oh, right, yes. I believe we're having him tortured this afternoon. Oh, I think that's the 20th time someone has shouted, "You're a monster," at me today. Oh, but you do it with such conviction. You still have some fight in you. You still have some fight to you. And that is something I absolutely adore about you, my dear. I know who you are, my dear. Being in my position comes with many perks, and one such perk is information. So, when a beautiful creature crashes a poker game just to try and bring me to justice, I take notice. That was 3 years ago. You're so right, my dear. 3 years on the dot, actually. Happy anniversary, baby. Don't worry about forgetting. I know we're still in the honeymoon phase. Oh, I think we are a couple, I really do. We've been chasing each other for years. We send each other little gifts. Are assassinations not considered gifts any longer? Perhaps I might be a bit out of touch. Regardless, I believe my point still stands, and if it doesn't, then I'd like to propose something. Guards, leave us if you'd please. I'd like some time alone with my darling. Now, can you stand? Good. Here, my hand. There we are. Mind the rings. They really are garish, aren't they? I never know what to do with all the damned baubles people throw at me as they plead for their lives. Decided I'd see how many I could fit on one hand. 12 is the answer. That gold one on my middle finger is a bit on the stockier side. What do I want with you? Well, first, any food allergies? Preferences on protein? Have you had samosas recently? I'm having dinner prepared for us, my sweet. After all, it's the first time you've been home in, 6 months? Or are we going to ignore the time you scurried around my vents, trying to find all that icky, nasty intelligence in that boorish little briefcase? Just leaning a bit closer, my dear. Why are you shaking? Oh, no. I'd never hurt you. How could I? You've become like a stray cat that scampers by every so often. You hiss and spit and claw and bite, but I still can't help but be fond of you. I can't help but want to pick you up and snuggle you and feed you until I'm your favorite human. Your only human. I am the worst, I know. Bit of hair in your face, love. Bloop. Got it. Now, What were you saying? Something about me being the devil incarnate? Here, have a seat at the table. Don't mind the dogs, I promise they're good boys. I knew you'd be an animal lover. You're so precious and good. Is that why you're fascinated by me? Oh, of course. You want to make the world more aware of me, so I'll be brought to justice for my crimes. So smart. Sweet thing, so smart. You don't appreciate me staring at you. Oh, but I can't help it, sweetheart. All I've had for several years now is pictures of you. They really don't compare to the real thing. How did I get pictures of you? Oh, you can do a lot of things when you're as rich as I am. And have a private investigator with skills of Sherlock Holmes and the persistence of a bloodhound. He found out all about you. Took him a few months. Very impressive. He usually does it in 3 days. But you gave him a hell of a fight, my sweet. Really? You're going to lecture me for invading your promise as a war photographer? That was quite the explosive rant. And you've seen such horrifying things that you assume fall solely at my feet. Now tell me, what do you want me to do about it? Stop. And then you would have a rogue militar out there breeding child soldiers and burning homes to the ground to stir up fear. They'd rally, I'd fall, be dragged out as an example, and then whoever led the militar will be seen as a hero for 6 months, and then they'd become an even worse tyrant because of all the love and attention would begin to slip. Paranoia would set in, dissenters would rise, and well, the merry-go-round continues its dance. Pisses you off that I'm right, doesn't it? You're not stupid, my little sleuth. You know what a power vacuum looks like, and you know, for however horrendous my crimes are, the next in line will be even worse. We tyrants always have big boots to fill, you see. We can't be less bad than our predecessors, because it defeats the entire purpose of rising up. You need to be the boogeyman, the final fucking exit, the last stop before hell. Such is life, I suppose. Sit down, my dear. Let us negotiate. There we are. Now you have something I desperately want. More than anything, more than my next meal or walk with my pretty pitties. And I think you know what I mean. Yes, you. It must be very exciting to have some power over one of the most powerful and dangerous men on the planet, Oh, of course. You find me repulsive, of course. Yet you write about me so provocatively. We're both obsessed. Let us not pretend. My obsession is just more lustful, romantic, desperate, raging. An unsatiable need. Everyone has an obsession, my dear. It's Rat. My name. You only know me under my various nicknames, and you've been trying to find out my real name for years, yes? Consider this me showing vulnerability in good faith. See, if you agree to be with me, with minimal resistance, you may very well get all that you have been looking for to bring me down one day. Isn't that your greatest desire, my love? To see me absolutely destroyed and brought to justice? What more could you want? You want me to release your friend without harm, You're making me jealous, darling. Do I need to be concerned about him having your heart? Oh, he's already married. Wonderful. Thank you for setting my fears at bay, darling. You're so considerate. Such a great communicator. This lobster is excellent. You really should try... Fine. I'll have him released, untortured and unharmed, after supper. Is he afraid of pit bulls? Tremendously, you say? Well, then I'm sure the Pity Pit crew will love to. Fine. You're worth not spooking someone to the point they're pissing their pants. Would you pass the butter, please? Thank you, lovely. So nice to have you home for supper after so long. There you are, my love. Sneaking back in through a window, I see old habits die hard. It's very, very naughty of you to sneak out, my love. No, I suppose I never stated you couldn't leave. I simply thought it was implied. If people learn what company you're keeping, they may just kidnap you, love. Try to torture you, or get a handsome ransom for yours truly. You wouldn't care because you know what desperation feels like. Come, sit with me for a moment, won't you? You need to hydrate regardless. I was quite startled when I found you gone, you know. I almost had some guards go get you, but... when they told me you were running food to injured people, I decided it was best to not upset you. It was very nice of me, yes. Would you like more food to send next time? No catch. Well, a kiss wouldn't hurt, but no catch, dear. Here, some water for my devious little rebel. You're welcome. Tell me something, darling. Why do you fight so? Oh, it is my business. Now please be a good little pet and answer. I don't want this to become a fight. You grew up in severe poverty. Got your first job at 13 to try and put some food on the table for your poor family. Then a miracle happened. Or so you thought. Shh. I have your little shaking hands. Do not fret. Oh, no, this tremor is so bad, love. Sorry. You hate me, yes. Please, continue your story. Your mother won the lottery, and you thought you'd finally be able to rest. Maybe scrape up some of that oh-so-precious childhood before it was gone. But then, she took your other siblings and moved away. Without you. Why on earth? Scapegoat to the sea of golden children and narcissistic parents. I'm sorry. I loathe that you were harmed so. You thought I'd be more of the mindset of only the strong deserve to live. I understand why, my dear. It's what I might assume as well. No. I am more of the mindset that life is a raging, belligerent junkyard, far beyond our control. It swings wildly like we are piñatas, full of tasty morsels, but doesn't really care who it hits. All we can do is try and escape its wrath or have a chat with others while we wait to be cut down. You rose from some truly awful conditions, it sounds like. Rose up to try and do some good in the world, yes? To try and help those that experience exactly what you did, or worse. It's not stupid. It is noble. It is also a very, very slow way to commit self-harm. Would I prefer you to be selfish like I am? Yes, actually I would. Because I actually do care about your life in a way you do not. Me? Well, I grew up in poverty as well, believe it or not. A war-torn city not too far from our location. My father was a refugee, he said, but really, he was more of a war criminal, desperate to hide from his war crimes. He'd always look me in the eye and say, "My son, I know you judge me for my past. I too judge myself for my past. But you do not ask the ants invading your home for peace, or to politely leave your home. You squash them." Oh, Stev is a sleepy, poor little baby. Anyway, I was about 11 when some ghosts from his past found our home, burst in late at night, made me watch while they gutted my father. Such a slow, agonizing way to go, you know? I'm surprised you can still be apathetic towards me and appalled by such behavior after all this time, after how much you've suffered. Yes, you always do your best not to be that callous, don't you, my angel? Gods, I want you so badly I'm almost trembling. I thought we were just having sandwiches, dude, they say. You really don't understand how deep my desire for you runs, do you? No, I know. We haven't met face to face before last night. We hadn't kissed before last night. But for years now, I had this pleasant fantasy in my brain, always running. My fantasy where you'd come home to me, we'd embrace, chat for our days, make love for hours, and somehow you'd find as much comfort in my presence as I do in yours. I don't love easily, you know. Not at all. Perhaps my childhood messed that up a bit, Who knows? Who knows? What I do know is that I am relentlessly desperate to understand why I am just so in love with you. So in love with everything that you stand for. Oh, but you do stand for so many things, my love. Many, many things. For 3 years now, you've struggled and fought and clawed just to even try to bring some justice into the world. My private investigator came back with so much information. He seemed perplexed that you would go out of your way to help refugees. But you would spread awareness of their stories, that you smuggled food and water, that you would do all this for little to no reward. Don't look ashamed. Your strength and tenacity, gods, I cannot describe how attractive it is, how attractive you are. I was wearing my normal mask when you crashed that poker game, so I'm sure you didn't know that our eyes met. But the hate in your eyes when you saw me, delicious. Am I insane? Probably. Inhuman, certainly. I like to think of myself somewhat like a praying mantis. Very little, if any, emotion. calculated, precise action. Generally all right with my partner murdering me in a fit of passion. Props if they're twice my size, I suppose. Please, will you come to bed with me so we can explore this tension together? Of course you have a choice. I would never harm you, my love. But part of our deal was that you would be mine, so long as I let your friend go unharmed, Perhaps he might better know how to woo you. Shall I go ask him? A threat? Me? Never, my angel. No, your beloved Rat would never make such a dastardly threat. Simply to possess you, no, that'd be quite, well, dictator of me. Oh, but I can't help but steal your breath away with a kiss. I've been such a patient, good boy. Well, you know what I mean. Please, come to bed with me. I can barely stand it. Even if it's just kissing and cuddling, I'll be content. If you're uncertain, I can go get your friend and... Wonderful. Then let us stow away for the evening. I've waited years to truly appreciate you.